goes. Just the way it goes. Degrees. Welcome, everybody, to the 14th episode of the Hookup On Music podcast. Thank you for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. Got lots and lots of good stuff. Thank you for tuning in to the Penguin Sadistic Studios channel. Always good stuff coming down on the channel. And tonight we are going to be looking in depth on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They just announced the newest inductees. We're going to talk about those. We're also going to talk about some other good stuff, some upcoming concerts at the Ravinia. But let's get started. Got other surprises in store for you today. Today, I will be flying solo. Next week, which I'll announce later, got some guests coming up. Going to be really good. But let's get started, okay? What have I been listening to this week? Always, when we have guests on, I'm asking them what they've been listening to. But tonight, what am I listening to lately? Lately, I have been listening to, well, a wide variety of different things. I've been listening to Soundgarden, Super Unknown. Most recently, they were playing album sides on WXRT 93.1 in Chicago. And they played Soundgarden, Super Unknown, side 1. And since that time, I have not been able to not stop playing Soundgarden, Super Unknown. Really great album that I enjoy quite a bit. A lot of deep cuts on there, like Mailman, really good. Super Unknown, the song, Limo Wreck. And then, of course, the songs that you have heard, like Fell on Black Days and My Wave and The Day I Try to Live and Spoon Man and Black Hole Sun. I mean, the album is just loaded from front to back. Really worth checking out if you have not, or it's been a long time. Also, recently as last episode, we broke down some albums, and I continue playing Nine Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral. There's something about this album that sticks with me all the time, and it doesn't really ever stop sticking with me. So I'm still playing that one. Reptile, the story I told last week, it's still stuck with me. Grateful Dead, Go to Heaven, really some good cuts on there. I enjoy that album, and I've been digging a little bit deeper into it because every Dead fan knows the live versions of some of these songs, like Althea and Alabama Getaway. But the studio versions are pretty solid, and I enjoy them, and I always like looking deeper. And this is something I've been doing recently with the Dead, is into their studio work. And last, I've been checking out this album right here, a really good album by Los Lobos. That is Los Lobos' Will the Wolf Survive? A really good album. We're checking in. That is the title cut from that album. really good, really awesome. I first heard about it, of course, by our main man, Lynn Bramer. He always talked about it, and I decided recently, let's dig deep. Love Los Lobos. Heard little cuts from the album, but played the whole thing. Really, really good. Really, really, really worth your time. New music releases this week. We've got a couple. We've got the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 soundtrack. You know these movies, Guardians of the Galaxy, they always have really good, really, really good, um, music. People always enjoy, a good soundtrack, and this one definitely has a lot of good stuff. This one is loaded. It's got a really good version of an acoustic Creep by Radiohead. It's got Space Hog in the meantime. That is a song I've been playing quite a lot lately. Last night at the Salt Shed in Chicago, the Flaming Lips played. This has Do You Realize in it. Beastie Boys, sadly, this week was the sad anniversary of Adam Yauch's passing, and No Sleep Till Brooklyn is on here. One of my favorite Bruce songs, Badlands. And of course, as always, I Will Dare by the Replacements. Really, really good soundtrack. Really, really awesome. Um, if you don't have, if it's a good chance to get a bunch of good songs in one place, I would say. And you don't get many soundtracks like that these days. And you're saying to yourself, what else came out this week? Another one came out is Smashing Pumpkins Autumn. I guess it's the third in the trilogy of Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, Machina. And I guess this is the third one. I have not sat down and listened to it yet. I will get to it, and hopefully I will let you guys know how it is. If you don't hear me say anything about it, well, then maybe it wasn't worth talking about. But those are really, really newer albums coming out. And by newer, I meant that they came out yesterday. They came out on Friday, May 5th. So check those out. Let's see what else we got next. Oh, wow. Now, this is the part I've been most excited for tonight. This is a little bit of an album that I think is needs to be known. That's why we're talking about it right now. Newer album. Now I'm going to talk about an older album. Okay, this album is called Mothership Connection, and this album is by the amazing Parliament. Released on December 15, 1975, Parliament's Mothership Connection is just amazing from front to back. It incorporates everything from jazz, rock, dance. You can get up, you can move. If you're having a bad day, this is an album you could put on, and to me, it could float you away to an alternate dimension, as you can see right there on the cover by the Flying Saucer. Awesome album. Loaded with great musicians. James Brown's backing band, Maceo Parker and Fred Wesley, really awesome, really great, really tight. The album is it's got a theme behind it. It's pretty much a funk outer space masterpiece is pretty much what I would call this. It was pretty much a breakdown of a lot of things in society too. That's the kind of way I look into it, into the deeper things, into this album. Such great songs as P-Funk, Mothership Connection, Give Up the Funk. Really great tracks. Really worth the time to explore, to get down, to really hear what this band had to do and had to say in this time period. I really think that they were good. I really think that they were worth it. For you to check out. You got Bootsy Collins on bass. I didn't mention him at the beginning because I wanted to, you could spend forever on Bootsy. He's one of the greatest bassists of all times, influencing everybody, from Flea and the Chili Peppers, just really great album, great bass. The drums, really awesome. The album has just got a lot of musicians on it. A lot of musicians, like over 20 musicians play on this album. It is loaded. It is produced by the main man. We haven't even mentioned him yet. The man who puts this all together, and that is one George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic. Really, really, really awesome, awesome, awesome guy. We could break him down on a whole episode one time, but puts on great show. Been in a great movie, PCU. If you've never seen that, check that movie out. Parliament is in that. But just this movie is just great, and I think it's you've heard some of these songs too, and a lot of some hip hop songs. You've unlike the Ohio Players at the Commodores. Um, this band was trying to be fun, man. They were trying to be goofy, they're trying to be silly, and they were also trying to get you to think. That's the kind of way I looked at it, and I really, really think that it's really worth your time to dig deep into this classic, because a classic like this is a one of a kind classic, and really worth checking out. You know, high reviews across the board, 5 stars when it came out. Nobody really was like, "Oh, this album isn't any good," and it took a while. No, this album blew up for the band, and you say to yourself, that the album has been added to the Library of Congress. Um, just huge influence across the board. So please, if you get a chance, check out this album. My favorite track on the album is called "Unfunky UFO." Really, really will get you to move. But do me a favor, and if you can, check this band out. I think that they are somebody who is they always deserve to be looked at just a little bit more than usual, for the fact of, you know, um, well, they're a great band. You know, a great band for many reasons. And for the reason we're here tonight is for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So the reason I picked this album is because the Parliament Funkadelic was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1997. And you're saying to yourself, for a long time, what is this Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? What does it encompass? Well, if I'm telling you in 1997, Parliament Funkadelic was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a little bit more than just the title rock and roll. That's why a lot of times, even if I'm listening to funk or anything, I'll say, "Hey, let's rock and roll," because I think rock and roll sometimes is a little bit more encompassing. There are sometimes people sometimes think that it's just straight rock and roll, just that term, or heavier rock and roll. Um, I mean, there are bands that are heavy metal that people are like they should be in there, but technically, if that's not rock and roll, it's heavy metal. I mean, a little bit closer to rock and roll than I get, but there's elements of funk, and there's elements of reggae, and there's elements of a lot of different things that kind of, are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Okay. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's in Cleveland, Ohio, if you do not know that. Um, it was established, the foundation was established in 1983, okay, by Amit Argaton, the founder and chairman of Atlanta Records, okay. The Hall of Fame pretty much has a lot of awesome collectibles and stuff. And we'll get to that in a little bit. But this year, okay, these were the nominees who were up for being able to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. You had some artists on there as Sheryl Crow, Missy Elliott, Joy Division, George Michael, White Stripes, The Spinners, Soundgarden, who I just talked about, Super Unknown, great. Rage Against the Machine, just talked about them last week. Their self-titled album, great band. Willie Nelson. Yeah, could have voted. People voted. Okay, was a voting thing. It wasn't like that one guy just sits there and picks it, and it's well, this is who they picked. They picked. The inductees this year are going to be Kate Bush, Sheryl Crow, Missy Elliott, George Michael, Willie Nelson, Rage Against the Machine, The Spinners, DJ Kool Herc, Link Ray, Shaka Khan, Al Cooper, Bernie Taupin, and Don Cornelius. Wow, that is a really, really eclectic mix. And yes, some of these, I don't know. I don't know how I feel. I try to use the show as a positive force, so I try not to get negative, and I'm going to try to look at the positive spin on some of these. But one of them right out of the gate Very, very divisive. It's Kate Bush.
It doesn't hurt me, yeah, yeah. Do you wanna feel how I feel? Yeah, yeah. Do you wanna know that?
All right, that is Running Up the Hill. That is the song that pretty much people have been brought back to light because of the show Stranger Things. Now, a little bit confusing to a lot of people why Kate Bush not only is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but her name is right there at the top. I don't know if she belongs in there. I am not really here to say who belongs and who doesn't. I do know that she has her own impacts. She was the youngest female to write her own song in the UK in 1978. She has written all of her songs. She is pretty much what I would call the underground songwriter, like Tool. Like she kind of shows up, does really great work, disappears for a while. Does that mean she should have got inducted? I don't know. People voted. That's all I'm going to say is people voted on this. Sheryl Crow, I definitely think that she should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Recently, there was a documentary on Showtime. Really awesome, really in depth, really shows you a little bit more behind the scenes of what she has gone through and some of her. You know what? I think she deserves it. Missy Elliott, this one could also be debated like Kate Bush. I've saw things recently that she deserves it. So, I'm not here to say who deserves it or who not, George Michael? I don't know. What's he getting in for? For Wham? Obviously not. They're not putting Wham in. They're putting George Michael in. But I guess his camp had to have faith that he was getting in, and well, he got in. So another one, I don't know. Willie Nelson, I think should be into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And you're like, well, he's country. Well, let's put it to you this way. If Parliament Funkadelic got in 1997, Willie Nelson should get in. Rage Against the Machine should definitely be in. Last week, we talked a great amount of why they should be in. The Spinners, awesome funk band. Should they be in? I don't know. And the rest of these people on the list, in multiple different ways, they've impacted music. And I do believe that they, in some ways, like Bernie Taupin, he's one of the greatest songwriters of all time. He definitely should be in. Don Cornelius, one of the greatest. He hosted one of the greatest music television shows of all time. Al Cooper, Shaka Khan, awesome. So, it all depends on what you're looking at. But if you go back to the previous list, Warren Zevon definitely should be there. Wyatt Stripes definitely should be there. Tribe Called Quest, definitely. Soundgarden, Joy Division, New Order, Iron Maiden. And that's when you're like, well, why is George Michael on here and not Iron Maiden? So I could kind of get the arguments and people getting mad. If you're presenting them a dish that has Iron Maiden and George Michael on it and you don't take Iron Maiden, why wouldn't you be mad? And that's why I think a lot of people seem to deem the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is losing a lot of respect in a lot of different ways. So, but what I always like is the actual show because there are always some cool performances. I'm looking at the list and I'm hoping Rage performs. I'm sure it will be pretty good. I don't know if Kate Bush will perform. She doesn't perform very often. So that's going to be pretty interesting. But back a little bit deeper into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, some of the things that I enjoy are the collectibles when you go to the actual museum. The inductees and stuff like that, that's one thing. But going to the museum and actually taking time and looking at some of these things and living empathetically through them is something that I have to admit I enjoy quite a lot. It's loaded with lots and lots and lots of awesome stuff. Stuff all the way from Chuck Berry and Pete Townsend, Bruce Springsteen, Aretha Franklin, Prince. I love looking at that stuff and imagining that they played it. Another band that's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that has a concert that is being released soon is Aerosmith. I found this old Spin magazine. Told you sometimes I dig up some old classics from May of '97. Back in the Saddle, '97. Now they're retiring. Tickets super expensive, sold out. Yeah, but Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, very, very awesome. A lot of collectibles, a lot of good stuff. Otis Redding. You see there, they got some James Brown, really good. I mentioned Aretha, cool guitars. really worth going if you're ever in Cleveland or really looking at stuff. Like I said, totally different than the people that they pick to go into this. So don't go, I'm not going to go there because Iron Maiden's not in there. But, check it out. They got cool stuff, really cool collectibles. Some of the stuff travels, goes to other places. They got other rock and roll. I've been to a rock and roll hall of it was at like a rock and roll cafe. It was like kind of like an offshoot of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They had a lot of cool collectibles in there. Cool guitars. You can see really awesome. Really, 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 I believe something that is worth your time in checking out. But there is lots and lots of always lots of debates in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Dolly Parton was in a recent inductee. I mean, it's all voting, and it's all. I guess some people think that this is what's should be going down. I don't know. Like I said to you all the time, I'm not here to debate it. I'm just here to say, hey, when the show comes on HBO Max, I'm gonna watch it because I love the jamming. I always love listening to different music. Should these other artists have gotten in? Most definitely. But it still doesn't hurt to check out and show respect to other musicians. Really, here we are. We're in May and we're getting started on summer concert season. And it's a lot of people like to head up the Ravinia Festival. The Ravinia Festival is always loaded with really good, what's the word I'm looking for? Really good different artists. You could head on down to Highland Park. It's in Illinois if you're listening from a different city. Really, really cool place. A lot of awesome bands. Okay. There's some Rock and Roll Hall of Fame bands going to be playing there this year. Okay. Always starting off a lot of good jazz stuff. If you want to sit out and have a really good time and listen to some good music, this is the place to kind of come. There's a picnic. It's kind of like some people described it as like a picnic with friends. That could be described as that. Lots of good stuff that is coming there. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees Chicago will be playing there June 18th. That's going to be a really good show. We got County Crows playing with Dashboard Confessional. They're rolling out there June 23rd. We've got really just lots of different stuff. We got Santana on the Thousand Rainbows tour. He's doing another Rock and Roll Hall of Fame artist. He's doing June 30th, and he's also doing July 1st. Check that out. You like rock and Creedence Clearwater Revival's John Fogerty, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, rolling in there July 9th. Lots of good stuff. Check out the calendar. I was looking at it. Really good, really worth it. It's different eclectic mix of stuff. I think it's things that anybody could really like or enjoy. Like I said, jazz. They got the Ruth Page Civic Ballet coming through there if you like that kind of stuff. You have the Jazz Grandstand coming through June 13th. The Ruth Page is coming through June 15th. Just really check it out. I think it's something that if you cannot make it, I definitely think it's something that's worth your time. Really awesome coming through there. And I think it's, again, another eclectic artist that worth checking out. Great album. Great in the Fugees is Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill will be rolling through there June 17th. So Ravinia Festival, really awesome. Really cool. This week, concerts we have coming up. We have some concerts coming up this week. We have Lucky Boys Confusion playing tonight, May 6th at the Metro. If you're into Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, they're playing the Rosemont Theater tonight and Sunday. Janet Jackson's playing May 27th down in Tinley Park. Janet Jackson. It's pretty huge. Really huge, I think. Janet Jackson, I think, is an artist who, again, doesn't sometimes get the respect she deserves. But she was, again, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in June 2019. So she's another Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee coming into town. Lizzo is coming to town May 17th at the United Center. Crowded House, May 15th at the Chicago Theater. Famous punk band, the Subhumans, May 28th, the Cobra Lounge. That'd be a good one to check out. And the last, these pair of concerts are coming tonight and tomorrow night at the United Center. My main man, Svo, is going to be there. It is Blink 182 at the United Center. And he was talking to me yesterday, and I think we're going to get together, and I think he's going to give me the rundown on this awesome concert coming up this week. I'm hoping. So I hope to bring you that. That's going to be really, really cool. Those shows, watched them on the Coachella performance. Man, they are sounding pretty fun. And that's what you want from Blink 182, I think. I think you want fun. I don't think you want boring. You definitely don't want boring. And honestly, with all the guys, you got Mark, really, 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 really rocking. Travis, doing really, 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 really good job. And I think Travis, in all indications, is a really good, is an amazing drummer, and a really amazing drummer. So I'm glad they're back. And not only are they back, but they are back with the ever eclectic Tom DeLonge. And I was watching some of his guitar playing at that Coachella. Oh man, he was lighting it up. So definitely, if you could get out there and if you do have tickets or don't have tickets, try to get some somewhere, somehow. Definitely worth checking out. 2 shows, lots and lots of good stuff coming up. As I said earlier, Aerosmith had a concert that they're having their farewell tour that was just announced just this way. They're going goodbye. And I guess, like the song says, they don't want to miss a thing because they're charging quite a penny for this concert. So I could see why they wrote that for Armageddon. And back when that movie came out, a lot of people shed a lot of tears. I'm shedding tears because I couldn't get tickets because they were so expensive. But again, it's okay, Aerosmith. I understand you want to make some money, and who doesn't want to make some money in today's time, right? That being said, before I say some final words, we got some items here. If you'd like to take a look at them, please take a look at them. Could go and also check out our amazing website. It is penguinsadisticstudios.com. Check it out. Really, really awesome. Really, really, really worth it. I'm sorry, I said Penguin Sadistic. See, I got myself there before I even went on. It is actually the other way. It is Sadistic Penguin Studios. I like penguins so much. I also like sadistic. I don't know which one I like more. But that being said, it is sadisticpenguinstudios.com in our website. Really awesome stuff. Lots of blogs will be coming up. Last night, amazing episode by the amazing gentleman in Yumper and Spo at the show. Recently, we have went to the show and seen The Evil Dead Rises. Amazing time with those guys. Good time. Check those guys out. Check that show out. They went through X-Men. Awesome. And they've got a really awesome guest that I'm also got to talk about right here because I think he's amazing. And he, Mr. Keith Coogan, the Keith Coogan, will be coming on their show. He is one of my favorite 80s actors. Since some classics from Adventures in Babysitting all the way down to, well, one of the greatest 80s movies, 90s movies. I'm getting them confused. Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead from the 90s. Amazing. But here right now is the awesome swag that we have to show you. time has come to an end here tonight. And I just realized that I did not put my awesome banners across the bottom of this show, which every week there's something that I just the littlest things, but I'm going to catch up and I will get those banners. But there's still a great, great, amazing show. Love sharing all this awesome stuff. Make sure you check out that Parliament Mothership Connection album. It is definitely where it's at. Be a great starter for your weekend. Thank you always for tuning in. Please follow us at the Instagram and the Twitter at the Hookup On Music. Please check out the Penguin Sadistic Twitter. Please check out the Penguin Sadistic Studios YouTube channel and all the cool stuff that will be coming, is coming, and is already on there. Please check out the penguinsadisticstudios.com website. Really awesome stuff. This podcast is available on Apple and Spotify, and soon everywhere else podcasts are available. This is also such an awesome time. Always enjoy doing it with you guys. I'm really excited for this next week. Got some cool guests lined up. Really going to be talking about some more cool stuff. Love switching it up. Love joining you guys. And again, as always, you can never, never, never have enough fun. Remember that. Gotta have the fun. Gotta have the fun. Get that album out. Listen to it. Please, please, thank you so much for joining us. And thank you for letting us be the hookup on music.